Okay. Hang on a second.
And we're live.
Very good.
So, is it anything earth-shattering now since we're live?
I don't know. The Earth is not shattered in my vicinity.
Ah, there we go. Okay, so we are uh actually trying the Twitter via Periscope. And so that did just pop up in the tweet deck that we went live. There's the link, and then I just retweeted it. So, hey, this should be interesting.
Should be.
So, we'll just see if there's any comments. If not, you know what? We'll just talk amongst ourselves and post it out there. So, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
So, you got that fall-like weather down there in Texas?
Yes. Yesterday was the first day in 4 days it hadn't been 103 or hotter.
Oh, so it
That
was
was,
only like 98?
yeah, something like that. That was because we got a typical Texas late night thunderstorm,
Yeah.
and the hot air, heat of the day breeds these things when the cool air comes in at night, and then it causes heavy thunderstorms with lots of lightning, some hail, and then they just kind of blow through and then they're gone. And then you go another 2, 3 weeks of hot, dry weather, and maybe another one will come along. And that's pretty much a synopsis of Texas summer right there.
No, we actually had a bunch of thunderstorms last week, but now we're sitting in lows in the low 60s, highs in the mid to low 80s.
Nice.
So it's the spring we did not have.
Yes, I saw that weather pattern. I forgot what they call that. I was watching it on the Weather Channel. They were calling it something. It was a specific type of weather pattern because it went all the way up from north of Chicago, up around, well, Wisconsin, all the way down to south of St. Louis.
Yeah, well, it caused a
Weather
bunch of
system
damage in Iowa, and I think Nick was actually out of power for 3 or 4 days.
doesn't surprise me.
So, but anyway, this isn't the Weather Channel. I guess we're here to talk about comics and other stuff.
Yeah, well, weather is other stuff.
True.
Weather is the rest. That's good. Best. So we've got we've got the carte blanche here. Best of the rest,
I know, I
and
know. I think
so
we've
anything
just
we
been
want to can be rest.
I know, but I think we've done a lot more rest lately than we actually what we started out as. And maybe we should get into more comics and stuff.
Well, that may be a little bit of a problem.
Well, you don't have any comics?
I've got comics, but as of except for Detective Comics and Batman and Nightwing, I've not read a comic book in the last 2 weeks.
Wow. I've been catching up. What's up with you?
I've been reading other stuff.
Oh, what's other stuff? Oh, the rest.
Well, one thing is, I've read this before, now I'm rereading it, but I'll show it to you. It's called Men of Tomorrow:
Mm-hmm.
Geeks, Gangsters, and the Birth of the Comic Book.
Ooh.
It's the history of the early days of comics, and
Now wait a second. Is that platinum age, like Victorian time, or is this more like the 30s and the 40s?
it starts a little bit in the Platinum Age. Uh, it's really the story of, uh, you know, Joe Simon and Joel Schuster, who created Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Talks about their childhood and how they became collaborators. But it's also the story of Harry Donenfeld, who started out, in magazine publishing, producing, selling pulps and pornography magazines, spicy stuff.
Oh, I was about to
You
say
know,
I didn't recognize that name, but I recognized the others.
the kind of stuff you're supposed to be buying now. The pulp magazines.
If it was anywhere but eBay, I think I got an email that Heritage or somebody was having an auction. So
Right.
I just, you know what I need to do? I need to go out to Herman. Remember where we went and saw the sausages and such?
Yes. And
They've got a
didn't get
bunch of,
any.
yep, they got a bunch of antique stores or junk stores or whatever you want to call them. And then maybe there's some pulps out there. The interesting thing that I found when I was out there, oh, I'm trying to remember when we first went out to Herman. and it's a German settlement, or settled by Germans and everything like that.
Right.
We were going through a bunch of the antique stores out there, and there was a lot of like World War II German stuff in them.
Interesting.
So I don't know. That kind of took me aback and all that, but okay. I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
So, but um, but yeah, pulps. I really want to do. I know honestly though, I need to focus on finishing my X-Men run. I did last week finish up my original Marvel Star Wars run.
Very
So
good.
I got all the regular issues to that, and then I got annual number 2. I mean, I still like annual number 3, but do you consider annuals part of runs?
Personally, not so much. No.
I mean, you put them at the end, but it's kind of like, well, I don't. Yeah, I go back and forth. There's annuals that I like and I consider them part of my run, and then there's annuals that just sucked back in the day, which is mostly like the early '90s or so. See, I liked it back when annuals cross over to each other. That was the big crossover event of the summer. Was not in the regular titles; it was the annuals.
Right.
And that way you kind of kept the two separate and everything. And now annuals, some of them are just eh. But I will say it's like I'm probably gonna, since I have annual 1 and 2, I'll probably go try to find annual 3 for the Star Wars. So then that completes my original Marvel run.
Right.
And then I have most of the Dark Horse, which Mike Myers was lamenting earlier this week. I saw that he quit getting the Dark Horse Star Wars back in the day. And for some reason, those comics are just blowing up now because I guess they think anything and everything in there can be made into a movie. But, that's kind of interesting because that was like Dark Horse. So Disney owns Star Wars now, which owns Marvel, and Marvel's printing the Star Wars book. So why would you go back and print stories or characters from the Dark Horse run? Except, and here's another interesting thing, and maybe I need somebody more knowledgeable in the industry. Marvel is reprinting the Dark Horse stories.
Okay.
So you can get a hardcover, and it's called Legends or something. But I see it in previews where they'll reprint some of the old Dark Horse stuff, but it's under the Marvel label, and it's called Legacy not Legacy because that actually was a Star Wars series. But I found that interesting. Just like Marvel's got Conan back, and they're printing some of the Dark Horse Conan collected editions. So I guess when you get the rights to a character, you get the rights to all the other art and stories written about that character, even if it's by other publishers.
Right.
So I guess that makes sense, but then it almost like, why would you ever bid on a property that you can lose, and then all the stuff you developed with it then goes with it? You know what I'm saying?
Know. Yeah, I do. But as far as making movies, I think they've already proven you can make a Star Wars movie out of anything. Because hadn't they pretty much done that?
Yeah.
Because there's been 203 Star Wars movies.
Now, don't let me stick Sparky on you.
Okay, it just seems like 203.
Oh, are you counting all the TV episodes?
Yeah, no, just everything. The amount of publicity that it gets.
Well, yeah. I mean, hey, I got fond memories of Star Wars. One of my earliest memories is lying in front of the TV. And, it's like back in the day in the 70s, the big console TV and the wood. I don't know. What'd you call those? Bureaus or dressers? You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
When a TV was a piece of furniture.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, I remember being like, I was probably 6 then because Star Wars came out in 77 in the spring. So I remember being 6, and I used to love being, when I was little, lying on the floor watching TV. I don't know how I did it now because now I can't lie on my side and watch TV because the TV appears sideways. But growing up, I could do that. Anyway, I just remember watching and the commercials coming on TV, and that scene where the sand person like leaps up and to get Luke Skywalker when he's looking through his binoculars or whatever. I just remember that scaring the bejesus out of me when I was 6 years old. I have that distinct memory. Other than that, that's about the only thing I remember of the original Star Wars, other than getting toys at Christmas.
Well, you remember more now because I'm assuming you rewatched it at least once.
Yes, but it's your original memories that really count.
Well, I understand.
And I remember my uncle taking me to go see The Empire Strikes Back, and then I remember going and seeing Return of the Jedi, and then the rest of them, young adult. Well, I watched all those, but anyway.
Well, see, now I was a freshman in high school when the first Star Wars came out. So.
Ooh, date night.
No, not for
Oh,
that
you
movie.
you didn't take the girls to see the Star Wars. That wasn't.
No, there's a couple of guys who went with me because we were. Star Wars isn't really a date movie, I wouldn't think. At least it wasn't back then.
Just gotta have the right date.
Well, that's true.
So anyway, I finished up my Star Wars run, and I got a few more Daredevil. So I like 2 issues finishing up my Frank Miller original, or the first Frank Miller Daredevil run. So I need to finish that off, and I like about 10 issues of finishing my New Mutants run, and then I really need to focus on that X-Men run before it starts being movies and all the prices really go up.
I don't know. There's my Shadow of the Bat that I'd like to finish that run, and Legends of the Dark Knight. Other than that, I'm becoming less and less interested in collecting comic books and more interested in collecting OA and sketches and the like.
Why, you just getting tired of the stories? Does it
No,
just?
I'm thinking, what would I rather spend my money on? Part of it has to do that now have 7 framed pieces of art
Mm-hmm.
that I've gotten,
And 7 is
mostly
too
to
few.
no, but there's always a few more would look nice.
Oh, would it now?
Even though I don't have a wall right now to put them on, I'd have to take some of our artwork down, and that would be require negotiation with the household supervisor.
Oh, you can't get the right OA that you both like?
She actually likes the Jaime Hernandez OA that I got,
Mm-hmm.
and I think she's kind of indifferent on the Terry Moore.
Yeah, I still got that stuff I need to frame. It's been over there since C2E2 of 2 years past.
You got to get it framed, and
Oh, I
you've
don't
been
have a
giving
great framer locally like you do.
You don't know that. Have you looked? Have you
What do I
tried?
do? Put in a Craigslist ad or something?
No. You've got to know somebody at work that has something they got framed, or somebody in your social circle. Somebody knows somebody. I cannot believe that in St. Louis, Missouri, there's not a good framer that works at a reasonable cost.
Everybody
I
goes to
don't
like Michael's or um, crap. What's the other place? Can't think of it.
Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, we got a Hobby Lobby, but that's more new. Joann's, that's it.
Joann's. Okay. Well, I will be happy to have it framed down here for you if you want to.
Yeah, but the shipping. But of course, I could just drive down there, I guess, because nobody's flying or anything.
That's a 10-hour drive.
What's
It's
10
not that.
hours? It's not even a half a day.
True. The reason I know that was because I actually calculated it because I'm thinking about next year if there is a C2E2. Instead of flying to St. Louis, driving up there, and then we can go from there to Wisconsin.
That'll work, but don't we got to swing by and pick up like Aaron and Ronnie?
Well, Ronnie says he's coming in early this year because he wants to go to Cowabunga. So
I think I saw where Aaron saw that. Put something in there too.
Well, we can do that.
Let's just spend a week in Chicago. We can go to Cowabunga. We can hit Graham Cracker. I don't know what else. What else is there around there? Probably some kind of museum or something.
Yes, there is a museum in Chicago. I guarantee.
No, I meant like a paper or a comic museum.
Oh, I don't know.
You go to Wisconsin, go to a cheese museum. Of course, I will say those cheese curds were pretty good.
Those were excellent. Those were quite excellent.
Well, I mean, if you're in Wisconsin, I guess that's why they're good there. Anything outside of that, it's just not right.
Speaking of which, anybody who's listening or watching, we're going to have Eric from Cowabunga on here in about a month or so.
Or so.
Or so. He just direct messaged me, asked me if he could come on and chat with us at some point. I said, hell yeah, you're welcome anytime.
Hmm. Well, I guess the thing is, I guess we gotta get more viewers. Eh. Ah, well.
Well, we'll see about it. I'll see how it goes. Gives us a month to try to.
Yep. So, what else you got? Any other comic? I mean, you're cutting back on your comics, or well, are you really cutting back, or are you just not liking floppies? Or I mean, let me ask this. Let's dive into this.
Okay.
Let's get onto the couch. Let's get onto the comfy couch, as Nick would say.
All right.
So, is this habit got in because I don't know, you had that break from this pandemic when nobody was publishing or printing or sending it out?
I don't think so because I originally, like a lot of people, when they viewed when the pandemic started and the print publishing stopped, my original thought was good. Now I can catch up on a bunch of stuff. But as I got more into it, I was really wanting to read other things, and maybe that's what it is. I focused so long on reading just floppies or comics or trades or hardcovers, whatever it is, that I wasn't reading other things, and I guess maybe I'm missing some of that. So I'm kind of swung back. The pendulum has swung the other way. So now I'm reading books like the one I just showed you, rereading them, reading a few other things.
So it did break the habit.
It did.
Was it a chore, and you just got used to doing the chore, and then when the chore got broken, it's like, oh, there's other stuff out there.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean,
I think Mike Myers has a few comments on all of that.
Other things do exist. I haven't quit buying so much, Mike. I've switched my buying less on floppies and more on hardcovers and trades. I will say that.
Well, as we were talking before, you've also moved over to Kickstarter. See, I haven't made that jump over to Kickstarters yet. I don't know if I'm afraid that I'll just dive in headlong into Kickstarters and I'll just be getting everything, or can I do, I see Kickstarters and I don't know. I don't know what why I won't dip my toe into Kickstarters that much for.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe I think the quality isn't very good as well, is because they're not with the company. They don't have the editors and things like that. But everybody seems to enjoy Kickstarter, so there's a lot of recommendations on there.
I've gotten some nice stuff. In fact, I was going to show you two things I bought, just got in this week. From Spicy Comics. The Road Witch, Volume 3, Volume 4. You just minimized my window.
Well, I'm trying to sit there and see how I can make you. Maybe can you make yourself can you make your window bigger?
I don't know. We're about to see.
Take control. As you can see.
No, I can't make it. No. Yeah, there it is.
There we go. Now I'm figuring out the controls as we go along.
Road Witch, from Spicy Pulp. Say number 3 and number 4. And these are big issues too. There's like 60 pages of content in each one.
Nice.
Now there's one I can't really show you. This is the funny one.
What do you mean you can't show me?
Well, I can't show you part of it. Not in.
Oh, you got to strategically place your hands on it?
Yes. Because, I was getting Faithless and now Faithless 2, by Brian Azzarello and Maria Lovett.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the number 2 volume came out, and it had the Tu Lalote erotic adult variant.
Yep.
Well, the problem is essentially this is a clear plastic bag, and they put a card in, this
To
full
cover
size
it.
board in to cover it, but they put the comics in backwards.
Yeah, I got
So
mine like that. You know, those are selling online for $20, but I've yet to see
I
one where it's not like that.
yes,
So it looks
I
like you
have
still got yours sealed. I opened mine up and read it. Have you? Do you not open your comics and read them?
I got one. I got a regular one to read.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but how are you supposed to connect the covers if you never open up the erotic covers?
Well, I just haven't done it yet. Mike Myers got 1 through 4 of the spicy pulps. I knew he did because he gets everything. He gets one of everything.
Well, yeah. So, yeah. I'm trying to. Yeah, I haven't gotten. Why do I think I want to think I got a Kickstarter at some point, but I've got. Well, I do Kickstarters. Let's just lay that out there. I have gotten Kickstarters. I've gotten some Star Trek Kickstarters, um, which was supporting them things, but then you get some free stuff. Let me grab them up here. So the cool thing is when I did that, I got some patches. So like
Yeah.
there's a USS Ares patch. I mean, none of these are official, like the USS Apollo, and they're just cool. Um, Artemis and stuff like that. So I did that Kickstarter. I've done I did the McFarlane Kickstarter for the Spawn figures. And back in the day, I had an original Spawn, I think the first series, but I sold those and traded them in for comics or something like that. And I've done some computer programming Kickstarters. Like I got one here for Raspberry Pi for computer vision. That was a Kickstarter and some other things. So I've done Kickstarters for a bunch of stuff other than comics.
Well, along with those 2 comics for that from Spicy Pulps, I got they sent along a couple of like 5x7 cards with signatures on it and a couple of stickers to sweeten the deal a little bit.
Ooh, good. Spicy stickers?
No, they're not. No,
Ah,
they're adult. I mean, they're child friendly. So
mm.
they're the big.
I think, for me for that break, I think I've kind of gone down the Mike Myers branch, given that he's on it, and I've almost become like a mood reader. Used to be I'd get my comics on Wednesday and I had to immediately read them that night, and I felt like I was not like I had to turn in my comic card if I didn't get them all read that Wednesday night. But now I'm kind of like I get them in, I kind of set them aside, and then I used to organize them. It's like here's the ones I got to read first, and I didn't alphabetize or something, but I put them in the order I was going to read them, and I did do it like that. And now I've kind of gotten to where I get my stack on Wednesday, or I get my order from Cowabunga, and then I just kind of go through it, and it's like, yeah, I feel like reading that, and just kind of reading it over the next 3 or 4 days and such. So I will say that's what the break's done to me. Still getting the comics though, the floppies.
Well, see, I think that's I'm going down that same pathway because I haven't gotten as far as you have yet. But I was getting all these books, and I was getting to a point where I was thinking to myself, oh gosh, I'm getting behind. I've got to read this book. I've got to read this book. I have to read this book. And I'm like, that's wrong. Something when you get to where you're saying you have to read something or I've got to get to this, that's not a good attitude. That's more of that's right. It becomes a chore then. And reading comics or reading anything shouldn't be a chore.
Yeah,
So
and that's what I've been thinking of, and I'm wondering if that's why the past few episodes, as we sporadically put them out due to my work schedule, is we've been talking less about comics and the other stuff, and I'm just, you know what, I want to get that joy back from comics,
I understand.
and I'm
I do
trying
too.
to. It's not that I don't have it, but it's just I remember back in the day, like in the early '90s, just couldn't wait to get my X-Men and read that. And it came out once a month, and that was just such a great week when that came out, and the other stuff, and the Image. And I was just, I'm
Right.
trying to figure out how to get back into that. Just, man, I can't. And I don't know. Maybe my tastes have changed since I'm gotten older, and I just want more. I don't know if it's getting away from the capes and the cows, or slice of life, or what it is.
Or Comics Veritas is that one instead of
Comics
Slice of Life?
Veritas.
Because
Is that? It's a Martin thing.
and Martin's not listening, so who cares what he thinks? So, but yeah, I mean, that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm just going to go up to my boxes and start flipping through and when I see something I want to read, I'll just grab it, and I'm not worried about keeping up with things in order. And okay, so I get a few issues behind in something, um, you know, because like I say, I'm still get ready. I still haven't read the last two issues of 5 years. Still not.
Why?
I'm just not in the mood to read them yet. I'm not in the mood to read them.
Well, he's coming out with the new one in
A few
Ever. Is that
months,
it? Ever?
ever, I think. Yeah.
Uh,
So I will catch up. I will catch
it's just 2 books. I don't think he puts that much dialogue in, so it doesn't take that long.
up. Depends on some things. Rachel Rising had a lot of dialogue in
Yeah.
it.
Well, I mean, but I sit there and say that, and see right here, I still have the sealed Strangers in Paradise omnibus because I have yet to open it and start reading it. I think this is supposed to be my characters for the year, and I
Yes.
still haven't opened it and started reading it.
Okay. Do you want me to send you the readers' copies, the reader editions?
No, I'm going to read the Omni. I'm not going to keep it sealed.
Reading
There's
the
few
Omni is
things.
a pain in the neck.
There's few things I keep sealed, and comics isn't one of them, or Omnis.
I don't keep Omni sealed. It's a little bit of a hassle to read the Omni because they're heavy and you can't just. They're not easily carried around. Like I said, if you're going out somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
take something to read along with you to read.
Well, yeah.
Schlepping that Omni around is not going to be
Well,
too
that's
much
true.
fun.
It's not like I'm going to just take it with me and read it
Well, I
on the
know.
road somewhere. But honestly, the reason I got it, I want the Omni. It's like, let me bring it back up again. You see, if you look closely, there's 3 books in here,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's the Omnibus cover gallery. And I bet you don't get that with the reader editions or the digital edition.
No, you don't.
So, and then on the side is also this print or something, which I think is integral to the story somehow.
Mm, not really. But
What do you mean?
I don't remember it being integral to the story.
You know, man, as much as Mike Myers is commenting, we ought to just bring him into this.
We ought to, yeah. Just have him as a guest. Yeah, it would make a good weapon, or boat anchor, or
Hey, boat anchor, you're gonna still sit there and get it wet and tear it up.
well, if you
You
use
can't
it
do
as a
that to an
weapon, you're going to
Omni.
get bloodstains on it. But
No, I'll tell you one thing though. Yeah, you wouldn't want that to fall on your head.
now, did you order the 5 years Omni?
How? Okay, again, we go back to my thing. How can 10 issues be an Omni?
That's my point too. Yeah.
It could be a collected hardcover, unless you get extra stuff as an Omni.
Well, the only argument for it is if you look at the definition of omnibus, one definition simply says a collection of previously printed material, previously published material.
And that's not well. Okay, I guess a trade paperback or a hardcover could be new material.
So, well, no, but all of those were issued as single issue floppies. So to reprint them in a hardcover, you've actually fit that definition of omnibus, that basic definition, a collection of previously published material. So technically, you can call it an omnibus and be accurate, but mentally, we think of omnibuses as being like what you just showed us. Big thick
Well,
volume of hundreds of issues.
as certain baseball managers say, if you're down by 7 points, you shouldn't be swinging at a 3-0 pitch with the bases
Oh,
loaded in the
my
7th
God.
inning. Just like so, you can't call that an Omni.
That's why it's hard to be a Rangers fan. Stupid shit like that comes on. That was the dumbest comment I have heard from a baseball manager, maybe ever.
If you're a batter, you're gonna swing the ball. You're gonna swing the bat.
And what we're talking about was something that Ronnie posted. I think it was ESPN tweeted it. The Texas Rangers were playing the Padres and were down
The Padres.
7 runs. Yeah, they were playing the Padres and they were down 7 runs at the 8th inning. And the picture had a 3-0 count, so he's way behind in the count. And swung on the next pitch, which traditionally, yes, you take the pitch. That's kind of.
Why? How's that? Maybe I don't know
I
enough
didn't
baseball and
say
all that.
it's right thing to do. I'm just saying traditionally that's what they do. You take the
Why?
next pitch because it may be another ball and you've got to walk.
So what if you get the strike? You're not going to be
That's
out.
it. That's it.
Don't.
That's why you take it. If it's a strike, it's no big deal. You're still way ahead in the count.
Yeah, so I don't understand why you don't take the swing though. It's like unless you're going to ground out and you're like got 2 outs, right? And you're going to ground out and strand all the runners,
Right.
or you're gonna, or yeah, I
See,
I don't
wasn't
see
watching
why
that
you
game.
wouldn't swing. Because even if you pop it up, if as long as it is an infield pop, I guess it's got to be pretty much in the outfield, whether or not the runner can tag at third.
Right.
But I guess the whole thing is, it's like you're down by 7 runs. Just take your beating and hurry up and get the game over with. Is that what it is?
No, I mean maybe. I don't know. I don't know what his, but that was his whole argument was this is sort of a
Unspoken rule.
unspoken rule, and I'm absolutely with Aaron and his comment. Is that these unwritten rules in baseball are horseshit. I mean, they're absolute. You know, if it's okay, maybe it's tradition, but that doesn't mean you have to do it.
No, you know what? At least we have baseball right now.
Yes, we do.
Well, except for 2 weeks there when the Cardinals couldn't play.
Are they back to playing?
Yeah. Hey, do you see where and maybe I want to? I think I might do one of those cardboard standouts and get myself put in the seats, and they randomly move you around, and sometimes you can appear behind the home plate.
That to me, I'm sorry. Pumping in crowd noise, I can understand because that kind of gives you some bit of the atmosphere. But putting the cardboard people in the seats, that's just
all the funds go to charity, and you get your cutout at the end of the year.
Okay. I understand. It's great that the funds go to charity. I support that 100%.
So it does go to charity. But the funny part is the sister and somebody asked, can you put your pet on there? It says, yeah, your cat and your dog or your goldfish, as long as you can meet the requirements. And the requirements is you got to be wearing red Cardinals gear, like a red Cardinals shirt.
Right.
You can't be wearing the white. It's got to be the red. Because I guess that messes up the picture if you had. Well, I don't know. Because I was thinking about that. So they specifically say red for the Cardinals. So a dark color. And I know you don't have people sitting behind the pitcher that hits the batter's eye now. So is there some reason you wouldn't want like white jerseys behind the batter? Would that mess up with the pitcher somehow?
I don't see how, and why would it be any different than if you had a crowd there? Because if you had live people sitting behind there, there's, to my knowledge, at least with the Rangers, I don't know how it would be with St. Louis or somebody other team. They don't. If you've got seats straight behind home plate, I don't think they dictate what you can wear and say you can't sit here unless you've specifically wearing a blue Rangers jersey.
Yeah. Well, no. When I go to games, I wear my white Cardinals jersey. I mean, it's a replica jersey, and they wear white, and their travel uniform is kind of like a slight gray.
Right.
So when I'm there, I'm in white. And if I was going to take my picture to be put in the stands, I don't want to be wearing the jersey.
I said, you don't have a red Cardinals jersey, do you?
I got a red Cardinals shirt.
Okay.
If I was going to get another one, I'd get the baby blues from the 80s.
Would be nice. Blues. That's odd.
The baby blue?
Well, is that their road?
Now you're going to make me look it up.
I've never seen blue with the St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh, yeah, you have. When you see it, you'll know it. Oh, crap. Let me see here.
We also have to remember here in Texas, unless they're on some national network on Sunday Night Baseball, I'm not seeing them. So.
Oh, now that I look at it, they did bring back they brought them back as and it's the special one where they've got St. Louis spelled out as opposed to because that's all right. So let me see here. Do the StreamYard. Let me share the screen. How do I share the screen? There we go. Sheen screen. Oh yeah, I got to do that. Man, one of these days I'm going to sit here and I'm going to select Windows screen. So see it?
No.
Eh,
Wait a second. I'm over on Twitter.
oh crap! There, you can't see that.
Yeah, I can see that now.
See, that's the classic blue. And so they actually made the special. See, mine's like this. You can't see my cursor. Imagine. So my jerseys, I've got the special one where instead of it says Cardinals, it says St. Louis. And they made a blue version of that. I didn't realize that. So now I am going to have to get me a blue version of that.
See, now the Rangers have this year that color of on a road uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Is that powder blue? That's a
So,
good color. That's
but
good
anyway,
color.
I'm just trying to figure out, and maybe it's because it blends in with the seat. Well, anyway, it's cardboard cut out, and like you said, anybody can show up in whatever they want to wear. So I don't know why they sit there and require that you and hands by the side, red shirt, red Cardinals gear.
I don't know.
And that's the requirements for getting the cardboard cut out to be put in the stands. And then you get it at the end of the season.
See, I know they don't have any kind of restrictions like that. On a couple of Ranger games that I've watched, their cardboard people are wearing all manner of stuff. One guy, I don't know if he gets. They're going to have to redo his cardboard, but one guy got himself beheaded by a home run ball.
Is that comment you made? I think you made a tweet on it or something about there was an injury he suffered.
Yes, it was
foul ball.
By a foul ball. Woman got her head.
Basically. They haven't extended the nets.
Yes, but I think this even went above the nets. This was a high pop fly ball.
Oh, she didn't bring her glove to the game to catch it.
No, she didn't.
So anyway, all right. So that's baseball talk. Maybe we ought to get back to comics.
Okay.
So, what's something good you read lately, or what have you been looking forward to? Any of the Kickstarters or something else?
Well, I've been reading the stuff, and mostly because of my BatPod podcast. But Joker War has started in DC.
How do you like that so far?
Pretty good.
There he goes. Bless you.
Yeah.
Gotta love live streaming.
Yes, I know.
We're not editing that out.
No, there's no.
It's all there.
But that, and I told you I had started Orphans. I kind of got stalled on that, but that is a really good.
Ooh, and what was it you tweeted? Like Jazz Maynard's on Comixology now?
Yeah.
From Magnetic Press?
Yes. I tweeted that out.
But yeah, Orphans. I mean, everybody keeps talking about that, and I guess I need to get it. I keep putting it off because it's like I want to go to the Magnetic Press booth at C2E2 next year and get them.
Right.
Of course, if we have a C2E2.
If we have a C2E2.
So then I'm thinking, well, maybe I should just go ahead and get them.
Well, no, because they'll still be there next year. So anyway. Mute.
So I wanted to comment there. So I know Mike's been the only one commenting there, and we've been kind of talking to him through the thing, but I want to sit there and write a comment back to him in the comment section. I guess all we got is Mike tonight, and if he's still there,
so he's still here.
I appreciate it.
I don't think I have the ability to respond.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. We need to figure out how to do this. I'm still figuring out this whole StreamYard thing, but anyway. So you were actually talking about reading some other stuff. I know here's something I've had on my shelf and I've been wanting to read here. I think I've had this for since the spring. It's Becoming Superman. It's right. the biography for J. Michael Straczynski.
Okay.
And I really love JMS's stuff. And this is his autobiography, and so I've been wanting to read it. I haven't gotten to it, started it yet. The other thing is, I saw where Aaron got Green Lantern Volume 2, Earth 1. I
Yeah,
haven't seen it. I got to check and make sure I ordered that because I have all the Earth 1 stuff, and I really like the Earth 1 stuff.
see, I've got to go back and look because I think I'm missing some things that got dropped during the pandemic from Cowabunga. I'm not saying that it got missed being sent by Cowabunga. I think the publisher didn't deliver them.
Well, there's that. Then you had to switch over from DC to whatever one of the other things are, and
Yes.
that's one of the things I need to catch and just make sure because I order some stuff and I forget about it, and things change and stuff gets resolicited, and you're supposed to reorder it in FOC or something, and you didn't, and da da da. It's like I missed putting in. I wanted to. I'm not a. I like some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff, but I heard about this last Ronin coming out, and I was wanting to get it, and somehow I missed when issue 1 came out, and I saw in this last previews that issue 2 was coming out, so I ordered that and then sent a note saying, "Hey, can you make sure I get an issue number 1?" And they added it to my thing, so I don't know how I missed it, but I did, and so I think sometimes I just do that myself.
Hey, I think Martin is here. Does it really count this season though?
No, that's not Martin. That's me typing. Remember,
Oh,
we're in the Nerdy Legion
oh,
channel.
we're in our Jelly chat.
I know it shows up as Martin and Nick, so maybe we ought to get our own BOT.
Well, it showed up both
YouTube.
on Twitter too and Nerdy Legion.
Exactly. That's because we're
Okay.
streaming to all the services.
That's true. Okay.
All the services.
But anyway, I'm sorry. I interrupted what you were saying or got off.
I don't know. You interrupted it, and I've already gone off track. I'm like, so
one of the things
I've got the little mini things of whiskey tonight.
Oh,
I'm like 2 in. Maybe. Oh, you remember these? I brought these to Ronnie's wedding.
yes.
I still got some. I got to order some more of these, but they're really great. You just pop one. It's a drink in itself. I'm like 2 in.
No, but what I used to do, and I've sort of lagged on it, so I kept a spreadsheet. Anytime I ordered something from Cowabunga, I put it on the spreadsheet.
Mhm.
And then when I got it, I take it off the spreadsheet. That way I'm got a running list of what I've ordered. And I
That's
kind
the
of get out of that
discipline part.
habit. Yeah, well, I lost some of the discipline on that.
Well, you forget to do it, or you don't do it once, and then you get behind, and then it becomes a chore.
Yeah, it is. So I think
You know what's your friend? VLOOKUP.
VLOOKUP.
VLOOKUP. I use VLOOKUP all the time. That's how I was doing my checks.
I've never heard of that.
What do you mean you never? Okay, so how much Excel have you done?
I've done a pretty good amount. I'm not a complete expert, but I can manage my way.
And you've never used VLOOKUP?
Never used VLOOKUP.
Okay, so VLOOKUP, you have one list. Say, okay, so here's how I do my order. So I got my order for August, right?
Right.
And so I've got that in one sheet. Another sheet, I've got every issue I've ever received in a list. And then what I can do is I can sit there, and whatever column is the same, I sit there and say, look, take this cell, take that value, and look up in this other one and see if it's there. If it's there, give me a 1. If not there, give me a 0. So what you do is it compares two lists.
Wow.
So if you have your list of what you ordered versus your list of what you've gotten, you do a VLOOKUP between them, and it'll automatically match them up, and you can just copy and paste and double click and expand it down, and it'll sit there and tell you what you've got and what you haven't.
That is what I've been needing, because what I have do is I get my list from Cowabunga. Actually, I get the email. I look at the email that I get.
Yep, and you copy paste.
And then I haven't been copy paste. I've just been going by looking at the first one on the email, then scrolling down until I find it on my Excel sheet.
No, that's the hard way.
That is the hard way, yes.
Go take you a YouTube lesson on VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP.
Okay.
Now, you're going to have some viewers that are going to sit there and tell you, you got to use find index. I think it's find index or something index.
Right.
Because the problem with VLOOKUP is your lookup table has to be in either numerical or alphabetical order, or alphanumeric order if you got a mix.
Okay.
Right? So it messes up if it's not in order. Or you can do like a search index, and it doesn't matter what order your lookup list is.
Okay.
So.
Well, mine's not in alphanumeric order.
Well, no, the like, so if you're checking what you ordered, what shipped, you have to have your shipped or what you've received list in alphanumeric order,
Okay.
and then your other one doesn't have to be. But
Okay.
whatever you're searching through has to be alphanumerically in order. So
Okay.
once you get used to, once you understand, once you see it and you understand it, it makes a lot more sense than me trying to explain it 2 whiskeys in.
Right. I'm having no alcohol right now.
Yeah, I don't know. We have really gotten into the rest part.
There is one thing I did get. This is kind of a huge book.
Oh, I saw that. I want to. Can you show interiors?
Yeah. Flapper Queens.
So where'd you get that?
I got this from. It was printed by. Hang on a second. I forgot who it is. Fantagraphics.
Oh, Fantagraphics. So Flapper Queen. So
Flapper
I
Queen.
take it it's based on the 20s?
Yes, it's a tribute to female artists of the 20s that drew flapper art.
So where's the term flapper come from?
I'm not real sure.
What? You're my historian. You're supposed to know this stuff.
It was what the women were. A lot of the party women were called. That wore short bobbed haircuts, and they dressed kind of almost boyish like. And but I can't remember the origin of the term.
Well, you know what? That's why we have Bat Go.
But it was funny because I'm sitting here one night and I get a Twitter direct message from Eric at Cowabunga. You realize Eric in Cowabunga, it's going to be the new, it's almost like Jake from State Farm. Eric from Cowabunga.
Yeah, I don't know if my wife's going to be mad at him, though.
Anyway, I got a picture. He sent me a direct message with a picture of this book and an apology saying, sorry, but I just was so curious. I had to thumb through this book. I said, I don't care. Yeah. In fact, I told him, you have permission to pre-read any of my stuff that you want to.
Okay, so the slang term flapper may derive from an earlier use in Northern England to mean teenage girl, referring to one whose hair is not yet put up and whose plaited pigtail flapped on her back, or from an older word meaning prostitute. The slang word flap was used for a young prostitute as early as 1631. By the 1890s, the word flapper was used in some localities as slang both for a very young prostitute and, in a more general and less derogatory sense, of any lively mid-teenage girl. So it's a term that can mean either young prostitute or lively mid-teenage girl. One word that can range from those two extremes.
Yes, well, I know, though, the flappers of the 20s were not all teenage girls. I mean, they were usually young girls. They wore skirts that came above the knee, which was pretty risque for the 20s.
Yeah, those 20s.
They wore short haircuts, almost boyish like bob haircuts.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, and we're usually seen out and about, going to parties and speakeasies and other places where illegal alcohol was being served.
Ah, yes. Prohibition.
1920 to 1933.
Yeah.
Worst idea we've ever had.
It was an amendment, and then you had to have another amendment to get rid of it.
Yep.
So they canceled each other out, but they still count.
They do count.
Your total amendment count.
That is true. That is true.
Uh-oh. What is this?
What is what?
That is interesting.
I don't know what I'm not seeing what you're seeing. So
Okay, so I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden it's like I've got something where it's like Aaron, and this like device is not connected.
I don't know.
Your guest will need to connect their mic cam before you can add them to the stream. So,
is he trying to join on Periscope?
I don't know. So, we will see where this goes. So, continue on. What were we discussing?
Oh, we were talking about that book, The Flapper Queens, and we're discussing the definition of flapper.
Yep.
That was about it. But
Yeah,
no,
it's interesting. I was just going through the Twitter feed to kind of see how Aaron's doing stuff, and I'm like, I ran across us, and I've got like, it's so meta. I'm like doing this podcast, videocast, whatever, and watching myself on Twitter do this podcast, videocast, whatever.
It says that we've got 3 viewers. Who they are is I don't know.
Oh, okay. I got to sit there. Oh, there's Mike. Mike's still there. So, and Mike, I know you made me buy a comic this week. I'm not buying it on the show, but you were sitting there talking about that Conan prototype and Chamber of Darkness 4. I bought my Chamber of Darkness 4 about 2 days ago.
Very good.
So,
See, I don't know how to get Fighter out. Now we're down to 0 viewers.
what?
Twitter just was showing 3 viewers, and now it says 0 viewers.
I don't know. Mike just responded nice, so he just heard me talk about getting my Chamber of Darkness.
Yes. And he talked about flappers, yes, back during the Roaring 20s, right there. They were that was the heyday of the flapper fashion.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Oh, did you ever see on HBO, what was it? Boardwalk Empire?
No, I didn't. Oh, but I have something else.
I watched the first 2 seasons of that. That was actually pretty good.
No, I've heard about it. I heard it was a good show, but I never did watch it. What I did finish watching recently was all 9 episodes of Brave New World.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever read the novel?
Is the show the same?
It's not. It's the premise. I mean, a lot of it's the same, but the basic storyline has changed. But a lot of the premise of it is this controlled society where everybody, they've been divided into a caste systems like alphas, betas, gammas, and they determine which you are based on genetic engineering. And each caste is more has less mental function, cognitive function, and is a lower caste. Like, so the alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilons. The epsilons are the lower class, and they do all the manual labor, and they have very little cognitive abilities other than just basic emotions. And then you have deltas, which are a little bit higher, and then gammas, who are usually were the domestic servants.
Yep.
Then betas, and then alphas. And alphas were the upper caste, and the betas are usually there for their sexual partners. And everything, it's a promiscuous society. Monogamy is banned and outlawed. Gamma radiated. No, that was Bruce Banner, I think, wasn't it? It was turned into the Hulk.
Yes. Wow, some reason the other day I remember seeing something with Lou Ferrigno.
Oh, what
was it?
He was in the Hulk TV show.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. I knew he was. I'm just like, for some reason, I'm like, I just remember something I saw on social media or something had Lou Ferrigno in it.
I don't know. I didn't know he was still alive.
Oh, come on now. He's at all the cons.
Is he?
Yeah.
Was he at C2E2 last year?
I don't know.
Well, then you can't
He's at
say he was.
he's at everything.
He's at everything. Wow,
He's
that's
at
a lot.
everything. Well, if you have a con, he's usually at it. I tell you what, though, if Aaron Gray's ever at a con, I'm going to go get that signature.
She hasn't aged well.
What about Linda Carter?
I haven't seen a recent photograph of her. I did see Erin Gray, and she hasn't aged well. Her face is.
Oh, come on now. All women are beautiful.
He does not like you to take a picture of him unless you pay. Lou Ferrigno.
Well, at least it's not like Neil Adams, where if you breathe the air, you got to pay $5.
I was listening to a podcast, and I can't remember which one it was now. It may have been Contest of Challengers, which were those two guys that own a comic book shop in Chicago. One of those guys was talking about what a nice guy Neil Adams is.
You know, as much as we joke about that, I've heard he is nice.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a nice guy, and he just, I think, basically, I think he charges for a signature, which, come on, I mean,
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, and I don't even think he charges the most.
Those guys hate comics. I guess Mike listens to it too. Well, they sure as hell hate DC right now. I mean, that's for damn sure, because every episode they publish, they rag out on DC. So, and the decisions they've made recently. Yes, they do tend to complain. They do a little bit of that. So Mike listens to that. So
yeah. So you even hate the customers.
I've not heard anything to that degree there. Maybe I've missed it, but
yeah.
Anyway.
So, Mike, you're sitting there commenting all that. You just want to hop on with us? I can send you the link. 10 minutes.
What about 10 minutes?
That's what I'm saying. He can hop on for 10 minutes. Ah, he's got to eat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hopefully it's Nashville hot. Spicy stuff. I'll tell you what. Okay, that gets me into a story there, because it was like, I was like, my production manager, she was like, oh, they opened up this new chicken place down in St. Charles, over near where I work. It's like, I got to take you there. I go, all right. So I go there, and they got something on the menu. They got Nashville hot chicken. I'm like, and my experience with that is, if it's not in Nashville, they usually don't have it hot enough. They just kind of refer to the kind of the flavor and the spices, which it does have a distinct flavor, but it's also supposed to have some heat to it. I mean, it's supposed to be heat that almost hurts you.
Right.
So I order it. And you remember our experience in Chicago with Ronnie and the flaming hot wings?
Right.
And how hot were they?
Not at all, according to
them. That's what this chicken sandwich was.
See, well, I wouldn't. That would be a boneless chicken breast, then. I wouldn't think.
I didn't say it. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's.
Well, I figure when I'm thinking Nashville hot chicken, I'm thinking regular fried chicken.
No. It's a chicken sandwich. It's a Nashville hot chicken. A chicken. It is a boneless chicken sandwich. I didn't say it was a fried chicken sandwich, which is an oxymoron.
Right. It is. Mike says next time he'll jump on with us.
All right.
That'll work.
Okay, I gotta. Man, it's kind of hard if you gotta sit there and you gotta type and you gotta chat. So I can kind of see why Martin and Nick kind of went away from this. Of course.
Oh, they went away from it?
Yeah. When was the last time they live cast after that special? What was it? 50th episode, or was it 500th episode with the special tea and mushrooms?
I don't know. Haven't listened since then. I'm behind on my.
What, your podcast listening?
Podcast listening too. So
you can't even keep up with your podcast listening? And your comics?
What can I say?
What are you
I'm
doing?
failing. I'm failing badly.
I'm gonna have to turn in your geek card.
Yes, I know.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
So what were you looking up? Oh, I thought you were going to look up something about Nashville hot chicken.
Oh, he sounds like a drunk teenager. I don't know if he's Mike's referring to me right now, or whoever we were talking about earlier.
Lou Ferrigno sounds like a drunk teenager. Martin. Oh, on mushrooms. I think that's a pretty damned accurate description, Mike. I mean,
Yeah. So, yeah. Let me see. If I share the screen again, select them. See, that's Nashville hot. Now, you see this one? That looks like a fried chicken sandwich. You know why? Because it's got the bone in it.
I don't know if that is that bread for a sandwich or is that Texas toast. That looks like Texas toast.
Okay, you're right. That could be Texas toast, but I mean, see, it's like spicy. I mean, sometimes you
Right.
can get, sometimes you get it with a bone on Texas toast, and maybe you. Okay, so this then gets into another pet peeve of mine. Most of the time, I've had it as a
Chicken sandwich.
yeah, chicken sandwich. You know, you got to have the pickles on it, sweet pickles, not
Right.
dill pickles, sweet pickles. But I've always had it in sandwich form. But how do you? And this kind of goes on this. So, how do you eat fried chicken?
How do I eat fried chicken?
Yeah.
Well, you actually witnessed me doing it on our way back from Chicago.
Yeah.
I usually it depends on what pieces I've got, dark meat or
Yeah.
white meat.
Mm-hmm.
I will probably eat. I prefer the dark meat, so I will eat the white meat first. I pick it up with my fingers and just eat it from there. Now, when you get down to some of the bones, you have to kind of
Gnaw on it.
gnaw on it or pick it off the bones,
Yeah.
which I tend to do.
Yeah. Anne has to eat it with a knife and a fork.
No. There's no cutlery with fried chicken.
She also eats pizza with a knife and fork.
That's not right either. Unless it's got such a thin crust that it just falls
You
apart.
can't have a crust that thin.
Oh, well, that's true.
You eat and the problem with the thin, crispy crust is you can't fold it and eat it.
Well, that's true. That is true.
Pizza you got to eat unless it's cut in squares, which I have to have on occasion. You get your slice of pizza, you fold it, and you eat it.
Well, if you listen to Stump the Listener on the Bat Pod podcast, you know that Bruce Wayne eats hamburger with a knife and fork.
You know, I think I remember which comic was it? I do remember seeing that.
Yes, he does. He eats hamburgers with a knife and fork.
That's because he's a sophisticated crime fighter.
Yes, well, he's upper class.
You know, at the beginning of this whole thing, when we were sitting there going, I said I couldn't hear you as well as I used to. Well, I figured out that on my, and I hadn't even started drinking yet. I figured out that I was turning the volume up on my headphones the wrong way. So now you're all loud and you're loud and crystal clear, like an hour into it now.
Well, good. I'm glad. At least I know that the listeners can hear me. Then that was the thing I was worried about. Was somehow my mic wasn't picking up very good.
Yep. So
what else comic related?
I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's anything that's really impressed me lately that I've read. You know, Heathen ended. I finally got that 12-issue series ended. I think I got the final issue of that last week from Vault. You know, okay, all right. So, let's delve because I was doing my previews because they're coming due, and I'm trying to figure out what my feelings are. Because you know how we met, right? We met through the Valiant database.
Yes.
And there's no Valiant books this month. There's like a trade.
Right.
And it really hasn't been anything for the past couple of months. And their office is closed.
Damn it.
Bless you.
Sorry.
What do you do? Allergic to your dog?
No, I don't know what.
Thunderstorm coming in. So,
Could be.
I don't know. I'm just hoping against hope, but it's like, is this whole like Valiant Acclaim thing happening again before our eyes?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the first thing, the information came out that Valiant had moved out of its offices in, hang on a second.
There he goes. But then I read something about they were getting other offices up to speed. Right?
Yeah, they're getting some offices somewhere else, but they didn't. There was a delay in that information coming out, so we knew that their offices had closed. And I'm thinking, well, gosh, have they uh, are they going under?
Well,
And I asked Ronnie to ask his buddy, who shall remain nameless, Cullen Bunn, because Cullen is scheduled to write Shadow Man.
yeah, that should have already been out. I remember when we were looking at those prints he had at C2E2. I wish I'd
Right.
gotten one of those. But
Okay.
well, I think a lot of
there's Martin Freddy.
a lot of I think a lot of employers are finding like, you know what? Maybe we don't need people to come into the office. I mean, maybe that's the future. Maybe that's how I'm kind of looking at the whole Valiant thing. Is why have this expensive space in New York when we can do just as well working remote with all the technology now? Now, I will say there are some stuff you really need to do face to face and everything like that. But hey, we're sitting here doing a podcast, video cast, YouTube cast, Periscope cast, whatever kind of cast you want to call it, right? And we're like, how many states apart? 2. And it seems to be working fine. Or that could just be the whiskey.
Could be. No, it seems to be working fine. No, I think that has been predicted for some time, that the virtual office would become more and more of a thing. I just think the pandemic has accelerated that.
Yeah, it cuts down on expenses and overhead, so you can put more money into artists and writers. Maybe pay them maybe pay them a decent wage.
Well, I think it just depends on who it is. Some people are getting decent wages.
Well, we can't all be Warren Ellis's or Grant Morrison's.
That's true. But anyway, Ronnie contacted his friend, who shall remain nameless, Cullen Bunn, and asked him, and Cullen said he was still on target to write Shadow Man, but they told him to put it on hiatus for a few months. So.
Oh, that whole pencil's down? Well, I am so looking forward to a Cullen Bunn Shadow Man. I am. I mean, there were some parts of the early VEI Shadow Man that was pretty good, and then it kind of went off the rails. But man, I do remember liking. I mean, back in the day in the 90s, there was like this one arc of Shadow Man that I just kept reading over and over again. It was the introduction of Master Dark.
Right.
I can't remember if it was 3 issues or 4 issues. That was like the first arc that I just reread and constantly reread. I don't know why. And I love that Bob Hall art. Was it Hall or was it Layton? Was that Layton art? Damn it, I can't remember now.
When was this?
Give me 20 minutes, I can dig down to my VH1 stuff. It's only like under, I think, 12 other long boxes. But yeah, I mean, I'm wanting some good Shadow Man.
That would be good. Did you like his Punk Mambo?
Yeah, I did actually.
I did too.
I mean, that's the nice thing about Cullen. He actually gets the horror. Oh, it's the horror. How does he say it? Horror. Anyway, he gets that. He gets the mysticism, the magic, the voodoo, the ambiance of it. I don't know how to describe it, but you know it when you see it. It's kind of like when you're mixing like high fantasy magic with like voodoo and all that is they're not the same.
No, no, I agree. I agree. But something else I've been reading. Change gears again real quickly. Well, yes and no, sort of. Is a book of interviews called Conversations with Jim Shooter, and it goes from interviews with him all the way back to from the early 70s before he was editor at Marvel.
Was that when he was a teenager and he was writing Legion of Superheroes?
Yes, they interviewed him when he was still 17, 18-year-old kid writing for DC. Then some about the time he was with Marvel, and then afterwards, and up until about 2017, I think when the book was out, was the latest one. And I knew he had gotten a raw deal. I think a raw deal at Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
but man, he really got screwed with Valiant. I don't
Oh,
know if
he
you know.
did.
He got screwed over royally with Valiant.
I haven't read all the details, but just knowing what I know, yeah.
Well, basically, he spent 2 years, worked for 2 years to raise enough money to start Valiant, and he was working with the guy who owners of Western Publishing to license the Gold Key characters, Turok, Solar, and a couple of others.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a partner, Steve Mazursky, that was working with him, and they finally found some venture capitalists to go in business with him. Well, they got the company started. Then it turns out that Shooter's partner started dating a woman who was one of the venture capitalists.
Oh, I think I remember reading about all that. Yeah.
So his partner became her partner, and they got married and outvoted him on the board. And they're the ones that originally he wanted to immediately start doing the Turok and Solar Man of the Atom comic books, but they wanted to do those uh, Nintendo and World WWE wrestling comic books. So when those failed, they finally let him start, you know, the Valiant universe.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I have slowly been collecting the wrestling and the Nintendo stuff. More of the Nintendo stuff than the wrestling.
you won't touch the Acclaim stuff, though, right?
No, I've actually got quite a bit of the Acclaim stuff,
Oh, okay,
especially a bunch of the crime stuff.
well, they claim that was after Shooter was out,
Oh yeah, well he was out after.
not too long after Unity.
Is that when they went to the Birthquake stuff?
I can't remember.
I'm trying to think of how much of a difference it was between immediately post Unity into the Birthquake, and then that kind of went along, and then they ended the series, and then they got into VH2.
Right.
And I still got to finish up my Acclaim. No, I have probably 80% of the Acclaim stuff. I'm missing some Quantum and Woody stuff and one or two of most things.
Right.
And of those, I'm missing mostly probably volume 3 and 4 of Shadow Man, like the Garth Ennis stuff that he did with Shadow Man. Those I need to get that. I do have most of the Unity 2. What was it? There was a second Unity that happened with the Acclaim stuff, and or Unity 2000. Maybe that's it. Unity 2000.
Right.
I've got most of that. I've got all of Troublemakers. I need some Quantum and Woody. I think I got most of. It's some of the more obscure stuff in there, like the Neo, something like that. I need those. I do have all the. I did finish the what's the really hard to find not secret Armorines. So I do have all 4 issues of the Armorines. That 4th issue is a bitch to find.
Martin
So
says that the Troublemakers is good and the Abnett Shadow Man is good.
Yep. What I want to find is that glow in the dark issue 16 of volume 3. That's pretty scarce. And I think that's pretty pricey if you can find it.
And then the last interview with him was about the time what Shooter was with Defiant, where he got screwed again.
Yep. And
He
I
had
do
it-
have, I think I do have all the Defiant though. I think I did
Really?
finish that collection off.
There wasn't a whole lot of it to get. I mean,
Yeah, it didn't take. I got most of it in the dollar bins, but I remember I got the Warriors of Plasm. You know, when
right.
it came out. Ooh, you know what we ought to do sometime? We ought to do a giveaway. Let me pull. You talk for a second. Let me grab something real quick.
Okay. Well, with Defiant, how he got screwed over with them was because he had this title, Warriors of Plasm, and Marvel UK was coming out with a comic book where they had a character called Plasmer, Plasmer, and they sued Defiant over copyright infringement, and it was a totally specious case. Even the judge who threw it out said it was a frivolous lawsuit. But by the time it got through all of that, it had bled out all of Shooter's capital, so he had to close down because the lawsuit just bled him dry.
And isn't
He
that
got
when he then
screwed
went
again.
to? Didn't he do Broadway comics after that?
I don't remember. A long
But
time
anyway,
ago.
so anyway, see right here, I still have a sealed box of Plasm, and this is even before they called it Warriors of Plasm.
Right. Wow.
So, I mean, and it has a price sticker on there of $14.99. I did not pay $14.99 for this.
Good. I hope not. That's nice.
So I think I bought like 2 or 3 boxes of this for like, it might have been like $5 each, like 4 or 5 years ago. And I opened up one of them. Actually, I think I bought 5 boxes for like $25 or something like that. I think I gave one to Dewan. I gave one to somebody else. I don't know if it was Aaron or somebody. I opened up one because I thought, hey, let me see if I can get some more of the insert cards. And then, I still got one sealed, and it's like hell. I don't know if anybody.
Is that hardcover collected, or is it the floppies?
What, the cards?
Yeah, no.
I don't know if
cards.
This is all okay. So this is the 0 issue. Okay. So that was the innovative thing that they did, and they did the same thing for Dark Dominion, which was next.
Right.
Oh yeah, here you go. Martin agrees. Broadway was Shooter as well. Lorne Michaels screwed him on that one too.
Yeah, poor Jim Shooter. He just got screwed everywhere he went. I know he was a bit of a hard ass and a little bit of a disciplinarian.
But that's what you needed for that.
That's what you needed. When he took over Marvel as editor in chief, they had comics that were 6 months behind schedule. 6 months behind their mailings publishing schedule. And it took them a year to get back on track. So, but yeah, that's what you needed.
Mm-hmm. And so, people don't like it, but you respect those managers like that and the people that get stuff on deadline and make people pull their weight.
Yep.
But anyway, to get back to Defiant, so their whole thing was, because you got to remember this is the 90s and you got to have your gimmick or whatever. So their gimmick was your 0 issues were the cards. So crap, do I even have that up there? So basically what you did is you bought the packs of cards and you put them together in order and you got the 0 issue.
Right. Okay.
And that was the only, and I don't know if they reprinted it or not. And so they actually came out with a binder or whatever you want to call it, and there was a first printing, a second printing, or editions or whatever. And like some of those editions are rare, and you actually kind of want to get the first one, but then you could put the cards in there, and you read the comic as you put the cards in order. And there was some inserts in there. So actually, hold on for about another 30 seconds.
Okay. Actually, it's fascinating just watching you get up and dig through your stuff.
Okay, it wasn't actually 30 seconds. So if you look here, so here's one he actually had open, and you can see it's a different cover, and it was like $1 a pack.
Right.
But these, I think this is the one I actually took and I opened up, and if you look, So, and it works great because if you got a traditional 3x3 panel on a comic, each card can be one of those panels. So as you can see, and you would just
Right.
you'd have your splash pages or whatever, but you would and it's nothing special. It's on the front and the back, and you would just put the cards in, and then you'd actually have like here's one where it's like one of the creatures, and then it would have its stats and stuff on the back. But most of the cards were the actual comic, and then you had special foil or something inserts. But they did that for Plasm or Warriors of Plasm because like you were talking about, they got sued for the name Plasm. That's why they can't change it to Warriors of Plasm. And then also for Dark Dominion, which was the second book.
Right.
So, but anyway, I got an unopened box of Defiant Plasm cards, and maybe we give them away sometime. I'm trying to see if I got the binder on my bookshelf here, because that's where I got all my hardcovers and such. And I think the binder with the cards would count as a hardcover. Maybe you would think I would have that up there, but apparently I don't. So I guess I'm slacking on my nerd cred there. Not having that up.
Oh well.
So I'll have to figure out what I've done with that. Huh. Because now I'm thinking about it. Where is my Warriors of Plasm binder of issue number 0? Huh.
I have to go find that. You won't be able to live with it until you
I know it. I don't know if it's actually may not even be actually worth anything or not. Yeah, but that's not what I wanted. So yeah, it was the flagship title of Jim Shooter's Defiant Comics. Oh, you can get the special edition 10 set for $49.99 on eBay currently right now.
10 set.
Oh, actually there is a collected edition, so you can get a paperback of a Warriors of Plasm, the collected edition. I'm trying to remember how many issues it went to. But
Don't know.
It was actually pretty interesting, the whole Defiant universe, and how it's because the Valiant universe was built on Psiots, basically. All the powers.
Right.
Except for like Eternal Warrior. His weren't, the Eternal Brothers, but everybody else's, I'm trying to think of who wasn't, was basically Psiot based. Like Bloodshot was, even though he had nanites, the only reason he could control the nanites is because of his Psiot power, and everybody else. And so that's how they explained the physics. And now, that was what was so nice about the Valiant universe back in the early 90s, is Shooter sat there and he said that he wanted the powers and everything to be kind of more physics based, or try to make them as realistic as possible. So and I remember that mostly because you had one of the egg breakers, which is Harada's elite harbingers.
Right.
She had strength, but the help, I think she wore weights, so she had weights so she could leverage her strength better. All right. So she'd have lead weights in her legs or something, and that would allow her to pivot and use her strength in a way, and it just made it more, as much as you can with psiotic powers, make them more realistic. And I get, and I don't guess Solar was really a psiot power, or Turok. your gold key heroes weren't psiot based, but all the rest of them were.
Right.
All right. And then when he went to the Defiant universe, that was more based on, I don't know, human psyche or something. I'm trying to remember now, but I remember really something happened in ancient Mexico, and that's where you got War Dancer, and somehow the humanity's id and the physical or the mental aspects of humanity somehow got split, and it's like the org in Warriors of Plasm was one aspect of the human consciousness, and Dark Dominion was another aspect. So it was all these different aspects of human consciousness, and they gotten split, and that's why you had problems in the world, because the human consciousness wasn't whole, and you had all these different parts of it. Now, since they've been separated, we're running rampant, and that's why it was interesting.
Right.
It was a different way of looking at stuff. So,
Very nice.
and you know what? I actually don't think I have any Broadway comics to know what kind of way he did those, or what the background on those were.
I don't know.
So,
So how much of the '90s Valiant do you have?
90s Valiant?
Yes.
I have everything except some of the gold
variants. I know.
some of the gold issues, and maybe some of the signature series.
Right.
But I've got an entire a copy of every issue of VH1. I think the only things I lacked on that. So Valiant started when I was in college, and I'm trying to think. I graduated in '94. And so, you've got that first job, you've got your apartment, you're trying to do all that. So I did cut back on comics then. And, when you kind of got into the VH1 Acclaim stuff, when it was turning into crap, I kind of dropped off on some titles then, which ended up being some of the more expensive titles, like the last issues of Bloodshot and the last issues of Exo Manowar, kind of expensive.
Right.
So I had to kind of get those back. But, I kept some of them I kept going till the end, like Shadow Man, Magnus, Solar. I forget what else, but yeah, I finished my VH1 collection, and anytime I see any cheap pre-Unity Valiant, I still just grab it because it shouldn't be sitting in dollar bins.
Right.
And some of that was actually going up with the whole Bloodshot movie coming out. You were starting to see, because they thought Harada, and I think they said they cut the after credit scene of Harada out, but like the Harbinger and the Solar with Harada in it were going up in price. Some of the Bloodshot stuff was not so much now, I think, afterwards. I still want to get another copy of Eternal Warrior 4 just because I love that damn cover.
Right.
So, and I got my first Valiant Verified Signature Series last month. Somebody had gotten 3 copies of I think it was Turok 1, and they were in a Facebook group, and they were selling them for like $20 each. So I got one of them because I hadn't had any of the Valiant Verified Signature Series, the VVSSs.
Right.
So I got my first one of that. I don't know if I'm going to try to get all those or not.
How many are there?
There might be a dozen.
It's a lot, especially at $1,000 a piece.
I don't know if they're $1,000 each. So I put in VVSS and I get vertical volute spring suspension. Apparently,
probably not the same thing.
All right, let's see. Valiant verified, or is it verified Valiant or Valiant verified signature series? Valiant fan, the Valiant. Oh yeah, the ValiantFans.com. But I haven't been there in a while. Choose an issue of. Oh, an error was encountered. Wow. Doesn't look like that site has held up well. Martin says that sounds about right. I think there's about a dozen. The thing is, I got it, and it was in the original Valiant, like, I don't want to say bag, because it was more of a thick plastic, stiff plastic. And so I did keep it in that, because you want to kind of keep it with it. And the Valiant logo was embossed on the flap and came with a certificate of authenticity.
I would hope it would have that.
So, let me see if I go back to Valiant relaunch, Acclaim, Valiant prehistory. Wow, I haven't been to the ValiantFans.com, and now it's called the Valiant Archive. And Wow, that's not displaying well at all. Okay, so here we go. You had there's the XO database. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Apparently there was wait a second, page 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, apparently there was 14.
I wonder if Martin has kept an archive edition of the old Valiant database that he put together.
I'm sure
Would
there's a
seem
backup somewhere.
would be a shame if there wasn't. With all the
So
work
he says
that
it says there it looks like about 6. So I'm sitting here. It's like XO database 1B, Ryan the Future Force 9C, Magnus Robot Fighter 25B, Bloodshot 6B, Turok Dinosaur Hunter 1C, Bloodshot 0D. Ooh, that'd be nice. Get the Bloodshot 0 VVS, Shadowman 0 D, Ryan the Future Force 21B, Armorines 1B, Secret Weapons 11C, Psylords 1C, Eternal Warrior 27B, Geomancer 1B, and Time Walker 1B. So usually they did the VVS SSs for like issue 1s, but then you get the random ones like Eternal Warrior 27 for some reason. And
I don't know, is that a special issue for some reason?
I guess. And then Secret Weapons 11. And then Ryan the Future Force 21. And well, Bloodshot 6 is one, but that was also the first appearance of Ninjak. And then Magnus Robot Fighter 25, which I thought was just the coolest cover back in the day. That silver foil embossed when he got his new armor and A1 turned into like the hawk or bird or whatever on his shoulder. So that was 25. And then Ryan the Future Force 9, that's when you went from Rye to Ryan the Future Force. So that was actually the first issue of that. So the only one on here I don't understand, like, well, 21B is when Magnus's son was born. Did he name him Torque after his father?
I don't know.
And then you got Eternal Warrior 27, and that's the one I'm like, I have no idea what Eternal Warrior 27, why. It says a new beginning. Is that when you had? Maybe that's when they were looking for the new Geomancer. Maybe. So anyway, so that's our VVVS. Valiant Validated Signature Series. Before the days of CGC Signature Series.
Martin says he thinks he has a backup of the database. I would hope so, Martin, just because
after all that work that went into it.
I know. I would be sad to have it just go completely away.
So, but speaking of CGC, I do have several books I pulled out that I need to send to CGC sometime.
I've got a couple too.
Hey, what about that Detective
880?
Yeah, 880 that you got signed by.
Still haven't done
by
it
Jock.
It's in a Mylar cover, but I need to have it pressed. I need to find out.
Has it been 2.5 years? 2.5 years.
Yes, it has. I know.
You could just wait a second though. You were going to send it to CBCS, and I think you could drive to CBCS and hand it to them.
Well, you couldn't for a while because of Corona, but maybe you can now. Again,
you had this before Corona.
Oh,
the Rona does. You had it a year and a half before the Rona.
Okay, CBCS hasn't been in Dallas for 2.5 years, so you can't blame me for that. It's only been about a year and a half.
You sure? I think they've been there a while. Have you looked up what it would take to like hire onto them as a comic grader?
No, I haven't. I should. See what that would be. That would be an interesting job. It would be a really.
You know what? You might come to hate comics doing if that became your job, though.
Well, it's kind of like, or you look at, you might. It's like Eric in at Cowabunga. It's not that he hates comics; he just does so much with 2 jobs he can't read comics.
Ooh, you know, I just thought of something since Martin's on here. I'm going to show him something. I asked him about this. It was about a year ago this month. Didn't get a response, so I just kind of took it upon myself. Oh, where is it? Do I have it in here? I may not have it in here. No, I don't have it in here. Son of a. Okay. We're just going to have to. Damn, do I want to look for it? Give me a minute.
Okay, I'll give you a minute.
We can still talk. I don't have to take off my headphones. I'm just going to
Oh, okay.
disappear. I'm just going to disappear for a slightly. Ooh, look, there's all my swamp thing. Oh. It's amazing what you find when you start like digging. Oh, there's my old Magnus. We were talking about it. This is one of the things I was really happy to find back, a couple of years ago.
Robot Fighter, 4000 AD.
Yeah, but that is issue 1
Gold key.
of the gold
Nice.
key. It's not in the greatest shape, but I love those Dell painted covers from back in the day.
Yes, those are nice. Those are very nice.
Actually, I think I have the first 10 issues of Magnus that I had to sit there and
Pretty
find.
sweet.
Oh, crap. Now I'm trying to think. Where did I put it? Because now I won't say I've taunted the listeners, but I kind of have to. I have to get something up there. Everybody's gonna, son of a. This is what happens when I'm like totally. I'm in the. If you notice behind me, you'll see that my stacks, my long boxes, isn't as high as it usually is because I'm in the middle of arranging everything or getting everything in place. Or no, that's not the right word. I'm in the process of getting my latest issues cataloged and filed away. So, yeah. No. Oh, wait a second. Maybe this is it. Okay. Come on, talk to me, Jay.
All right. You are looking
Ooh.
at Dennis's
Ooh.
behind. In the
Oh, sorry. Hey, I did pick this up the other day.
Ah. Is that a facsimile?
No.
Oh, you got the original. That's not the first. No, that's not the first appearance, Silver.
See, it is. It's the first Silver Riddler.
I thought that was with. Maybe I'm thinking of the gold.
Nope. This is it. I picked it up.
Okay.
It's so I'm trying to think. I had. I'm trying to think. I had this in order. The only problem is, okay, so I think I need to get a better copy of this to finally finish off my Batman first appearance of my Batman Silver Age Rogues Gallery. This is a very bad copy. I mean, yeah, Martin, that it is. It looks nice. This here's in like crap condition. You can't really tell it from this, so it does present well on a screen with this on there. But I don't know if you can see it around the moon there. You see the water damage above his shoulder there on the moon. Yeah, I got this in a lot, and it was only a part of a corner looking at. There's only a corner showing, so I just went with it. But I ended up probably overpaying for it. But anyway. Oh, and I'm counting this as like first Silver Age Joker, even though it's really not. But
okay,
you gotta, but still, there's my Jimmy Olsen's. Shazam, Green Lantern. Oh, why can I not find it? Oh, the pain. Okay. Anyway,
Mike Myers wants to know: did the water soak through the pages on that?
maybe. Actually, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's all on the cover.
That's good.
Crap. Okay, maybe it's below this one. See, this is the nice thing about doing video is we can sit there and we can show stuff and talk. Now, our listeners don't know what's going on. So, crap. There's my Acclaim stuff. So anyway, all right, Martin. So remember last year about this time you were lamenting about your favorite character trying to find something, and I was in Chicago, and I found a decent copy of Werewolf by Night 32, and I messaged you, never heard anything back, so I bought it for myself. And I was trying to find it to kind of show you how well. Okay. Anyway, so now we're just randomly going through stuff. So you know what? So what's this? Anybody know the significance of this issue? So it's John Carter, Warlord of Mars, issue 18. I have about 3 or 4 copies of this. I always pick this up if I can see it.
I couldn't tell you the significance of it.
Maybe if you look at the cover, it's the first. I don't know if it's the first Marvel, but I think it's the first published work of John Byrne.
Oh.
Yep. Crap. Where is it? Damn it! Now that's making me mad because now I don't know where my Werewolf by Night 32 is, and that's got me a little concerned since I don't know where that is. Oh, that's not good because I should know where that is.
Okay, well, you're going to have to keep talking because I've got to step away for a while.
What do you mean you got to step away?
Hey, look, we're an hour and 40 minutes into this. My 58-year-old bladder can only handle so much.
Oh, come on. Okay, all right. So
keep talking, and I'll be right back.
I can talk. I can talk about comics all night.
Okay.
You know that. So let's see. Mike Myers was asking. So you've got that water damage on it. So let's kind of see. Actually, I don't think it's even water damage. I think it's just crap. So let's kind of sit there and see. So I don't know if I can hold it up there, and you can kind of start seeing it on there. If you're looking, you can see it on the moon. You can see it around him. And did it go through the cover? I don't even know if it's water damage. No, it didn't. Now, like you can see the first page, which is a nice Scarecrow page. Nice and clean. That is clean. What you can do is you can see where it came through that cover, but it doesn't appear to have done anything on the front page. So, and then you've got a little dirt and stuff on the back and things. So, I mean, it's a great cover and everything like that. And you really don't. You can kind of see something on there, but it didn't translate to the interior pages. So that's actually pretty good. So, if you wanted to Frankenstein a copy, you could almost pop the cover off and put a cleaner copy on, and you would have a nice copy of this Batman. Because the interior is nice. And it's pretty much flat. And that's the nice thing about this cover, though. It doesn't have any spine ticks or anything. Well, I take that back. It does have spine ticks, but it's a mostly clean cover along the edges. You've got a little, maybe a little bit right there. That's why I got it, because it looked really nice. And I don't know, for some reason that stuff around the moon, that's just really translate because it's a dark cover. So while I've got it, yeah, Mike, it could be a 6.0. I think anything with a water stain, the max you can get is a 6.5. But I am going to try to upgrade this at some point, because I don't know. My thing is, I've been trying to get I want to get this first Silver Age appearance of all the Bat villains, and then the thing is, what I can't figure out is I've got 2 conflicting things on the first appearance of Two-Face. It's almost like there's a copper, the one where Batman is tied to the prow of a ship, and it's got the head of Two-Face up there. Oh, Martin's asking about how the inside looked. The inside's clean. The inside's almost perfect. It's just the cover and the back cover. So the cover and the back cover just really shielded it. It didn't migrate into it at all. So, but I still want to get a better copy. So, but I'm like, now where is my Werewolf by? I thought I had pulled that stuff out because I was thinking about sending it to CGC. What's in this stack? So Yeah, I did get a copy of this the other day. I've been looking for one of those. Hey Jay, are you still silent? So I did get a Silver Surfer 4. Is it the best? No, because if you look right above his arm, right there, you see a little scratch on it, but it
Right.
kind of fits in. It's a night. The colors pop. It's really bright, so I'm really happy I finally got one of those. Here's the glow in the dark Star Wars Episode 1 Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I did. That's something I was missing from my Dark Horse Star Wars thing. Yep, there's the VVS for the Turok. You can see the signatures up there, and then it comes with the signature, and it's still in the flap. It's got the Valiant logo on it, so you got to keep that.
Yes. It's authentic.
It's authentic. Maybe it's there.
Take it out of that folder. It's not.
Oh, what do you mean? Let's see. I know. I got the look in here. You know what I was trying to do at one point? And now we're just going through Dennis's comic collection. So at one point I was going to get like the first like 25 or 50 issues of Tomb of Dracula and bind them, but I've kind of stalled out on it. So I got to decide if I want to keep doing that or I want to get rid of these reader copies of Tomb of Dracula.
That is another thing.
What?
Having stuff bound. I've been contemplating doing that.
Oh, I have. For serious, I've been thinking about doing that. But then I see it's like $70 to get something bound, and it's like the stuff I want bound.
I know a place I looked at. I forgot the name of the press. It starts to become economical after a certain number. Like if you get if you're getting 200, 300 issues bound into say 5 different volumes, it's becomes a little bit more economically feasible. But yeah, it's pricey to have it done.
Oh, you know something I found out the other day? So they were talking about this on one of the podcasts I listened to. So I actually have a copy of this, but this was during the era when there was more newsstand than there was direct. So for these, like at this era right here, you know how everybody's all about newsstands and everything about how rare they are. At this point, it was like 95% newsstand, 5% direct.
Right.
So the direct version of this is like really desirable as opposed to the newsstand where the barcode isn't crossed out.
Right.
So crap. Oh well.
Anyway,
I can't find it. I've got a bunch of crap everywhere. Oh, wait a second. Maybe it's in this pile. I just got pile. Oh, this is like the Cowabunga stuff. The last time we were there, remember that?
yeah.
When I was getting that cool stuff like the Superman where you got the stickers and you can make your own cover. Right. It's not worth anything, but for $1.
It was less than $1.
Yeah. I'm trying to get I want to sometime get the Marvel 25th anniversary frame covers. Ooh, there's my run of Demon that I somehow acquired. I can't remember how I did that. Oh yeah, here's those Batman and detectives you didn't want when the last time you were here.
I have
old school ones.
I have them. Some of them I have 2 of them.
What?
So I have all of those that you.
Oh, is that what it is?
Plus, some of them I have 2 of.
Oh, you can't have any. Can you have too much Batman? And
well, no, not for mine.
Detective.
Not for mine.
All right, there's my. Yeah, I'm starting that. Man, Martin must have stolen it because I just cannot find it.
I would have to mail order Cheerwine, Mike. It's sold nowhere where I live. Not even an inkling. There was a Tom Thumb grocery store that used to sell single bottles. They would sell them up on a chest, but they've up on a shelf. But they stopped doing that. So
You know what? I was sitting there talking about that, and I didn't realize I actually do have the Warriors of Plasm Collected Edition.
I see.
You see, and that's just the thing. I've got too many comics. I've got stuff here that I can't. I don't. Even, I've completely forgotten that I've had.
Can you have too many comics? Mike Myers.
That's the
would say
question,
no.
isn't it?
Oh yeah, and Mike would vehemently say you can't have too many comics.
I don't know. I think he's kind of starting to change his tune. I mean, well, for me, it's like room. I'm gonna have to buy a bigger house. I don't know if the wife's up for that yet. I don't even know if I'm up for that.
No,
So
no. Why would more house just means more headache?
yeah. So are we rambling now? Do we need to kind of wind this thing down?
Probably so. I mean, we're over an hour and 50 minutes, so
Hey, we're only like halfway through a Geek Brunch episode.
I know that's what I'm saying, but it's a little bit long for us. The question is, am I going to push this out as an audio podcast because it's going to
What? Why not?
all of the things that you have shown on screen that the listener.
I've been trying to
not-
describe them. I've been trying
You
to
can.
describe them.
I'll push it out. I'm just teasing, but I was like,
Hey, don't tease me.
all right, all
It's a
right.
Tuesday night. I think it's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
It's Tuesday somewhere.
Still Tuesday
So
in all the United States, bro, right now.
anyway, so and maybe next time we do this, which will be on a more frequency, since like maybe work won't be kicking my ass like it's been for the past 3-4 months. We can get more regular scheduled, and if we get some on there, we can have just people just, I don't know, drop in. All I gotta do is send them the link. They can come in.
That'll work. I'm glad
If
to
Mike,
do that.
Mike, we've already got Mike on there. We'll get him, bring him in. He can school us on something. Maybe Martin can drop in. Aaron can drop in when he's not having to like figure out school stuff with his kids and everything. So
Right.
we'll make it an adventure where, you know what, listeners, hey, make some comments. You impress. I don't want to say you impress us, but hey, you put something like creative in there. Hey, I'll send you a link. You can drop in.
Yes, very good.
Of course, I do think we got to give more notice than like 2 hours.
Yes, we need to get better about that. We need to get better about that.
Well, I need to get out of my 10 to 12 hours of working and then having to go in on like either a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning.
That sucks.
But, well, not to get into work too much, but it's when you have a bunch of marketing and sales guys trying to make engineering decisions and they're coming up with experiments and you're sitting there trying to tell them how to really set up a proper experiment, but then they want to do what they want to do. And it's all because you're following the golden rule. And do you know what the golden rule is in business?
I've not heard of screw the other guy before he screws you.
Nope. The golden rule in business is he who has the gold makes the rules.
Yes.
So when they have the gold, I have to follow those rules, even though I'm kind of like, you know what, this is going to take a week and I can figure it out in a day. But you know what, let's go ahead and take the week.
Right. I understand. I was with a Fortune 100 company for 24 years.
Oh, when they brought in the consultants?
Yes, basically. Hired the consultants from across the ocean.
Ooh, across the ocean. There's Martin. I was going to mention it. I thought I heard him make some kind of comment about that in his last podcast, but I'm not gonna guess at anything.
No, I'm not either.
So, but that's where we all need to be.
Yes.
But we got to do it without ads and selling something. And that's a whole nother episode because I got into this long discussion with somebody about the whole world's built on nothing but trying to sell other people's stuff. And it's probably stuff they don't need. But anyway, that's not even a part of the rest. So
No, that's not even. No, let's not go there.
Yep. So that sounds like we need to wind things down.
Okay. Well, you've been listening and watching Best of the Rest. If you'd like to make Twitter comments, you can tweet the show at BOTR Comics. You can reach me at JForgets.
And I'm at Oot Inger, which apparently the guys at the Bright Side Don't understand what that means.
Maybe they're not so bright.
No, they're not. Unless you're familiar with it, you're not going to know that that's University of Tennessee engineer.
But thanks for those that joined us and commented, Mike, Martin, and we will.
And if you notice, somehow, Aaron Bell ended up in our private chat.
I didn't see that.
That is a mystery for next time, because I had not sent an invite to him or anything, but somehow, Aaron Bell ended up in our private chat, and that is a mystery that we will have to look into.
Yes, we will.
It must come, maybe it has to do something with this Postmaster General. Maybe they gave him extra access to stuff.
Well, the postmaster is a general, and
But that is definitely interesting, unless our link leaked somewhere. So
is Wilford Brimley still the postmaster general?
No. Oh, too soon. But you know what? I hate to say that, but I thought he'd passed away like 20 years ago.
I thought he had too. I was just laughing because he played the postmaster general on an episode of Seinfeld.
Oh, he did?
Yes, that's why I made the joke, because he's still a postmaster general. Yes.
All right.
Yes, Kramer had to go see him because he was wanting to stop all of his mail. And the postmaster general made a special trip from Washington to New York to talk to him, to basically strong arm him. It was a funny episode. But anyway, rambling now, big time rambling. So
yeah, that's why we're signing off.
Yep, we'll talk to you next time.